Hey Avery, how you doing?
Good.
I guess just sort of for starters, you're obviously one of the leaders on this team. Where do you feel like sort of the pulse of everything is right now, coming off two straight losses, trying to avoid a third in a big rivalry game against Florida?
Yeah, I think we're going in the right direction. I think it's important to consider the past as a place of reference, not a place of residence. We can't just look back in the past and be like, hey, like this happened, this happened, this happened, this happened. We got to move forward, and that's what we're doing today. That's what we did yesterday, and that's what we'll keep doing the rest of the week.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of last time y'all had two straight losses was last year going into the Florida game, similarly in a way like this, and down a lot of players. Is there something that you can draw on from that experience last season, even though that game was pretty wacky?
Yeah, that was a crazy game, but they're coming to our stadium, and we got to protect our house. And it's a big rivalry. It always has been since I've been here. It's been a close game. You know, uh, what happened last year, if it happens again this year, we'll be ready for it. I think someone's talking, but I can't hear him very well.
Scott? Hey, Avery, Scott Rivalry from the Advocate. You were holding on the field goal last year, right? In Florida.
That was Zach. That was Zach.
Oh, that was Zach. Okay. But can you remember that sequence? I mean, being a kicker, I'm sure you're relating to what both kickers went through at the end of that game, right? Cade makes the great kick, and their guy, they thought they made. I think a lot of their fans thought they made it. They couldn't see because of the fog.
Yeah.
Talk about you relating to what both guys were going through at the end of that game last year.
Yeah, when we sent Cade out there, it was kind of no question he was going to make it. We've seen him practice every single day, and he's hitting from 70 yards, in warm up. So it's stuff like we knew he was going to make it. When it came down to it, he was ready for the moment. And then their kicker Evan got a shot. Evan's a good friend of all of ours. And it didn't go his way, but like I said, if it comes down to special teams again, we'll be ready for it.
Hey, Avery Shaw from Channel 9. Tyron a while ago was talking about when Florida came here in 2019.
Yeah.
He said he had never seen anything like that in terms of the atmosphere in the crowd, and I think everyone kind of thought it was a perfect 10 that night. What do you remember about that night?
That was when you think Tiger Stadium, that was one of those nights. It was loud. I think I tell a lot of people, like, when I was kicking off to start the game, the ball was like vibrating on the tee because Tiger Stadium was so loud. So it's stuff like that makes Tiger Stadium great. And we know we're playing in the morning, but we expect a loud crowd again.
Do you remember after the bomb from Burrow to Chase, you guys were kicking off, and the kickoff team was kind of swaying back and forth,
Yeah.
and the whole stadium was kind of swaying and shaking, it seemed like?
Yeah, no, that again, that's what makes Tiger Stadium great. That's what makes LSU great. The fans are amazing. That's just LSU. That's what we expect.
Avery, halfway through the year here, it's also halfway through Max's kind of first full season as a starter. Just from your perspective, is there any ways that you've sort of seen him, growing in that role over the last 6 games?
Yeah, Max has done a great job, in my opinion. Being a specialist, you get the unique opportunity to kind of see from the balcony. You get to see the offense and defense do their thing from the sideline a lot of times. And Max he's grown so much as a player, but more as a person. He's a leader on this team, and that says a lot of his character and stuff. I know he's got a lot going on, but he's doing a really good job with it all.
Was there maybe a moment where you really saw that leadership coming to the forefront or something like that?
Yeah, it's just the off season. Him and Miles were competing, and unfortunately Miles got injured, and Max right then and there stepped up and was like, "We got this. Like I got this team. I'm going to take over," and he's done a great job so far.
Thank you.
Hey, Avery, how you doing?
Hey, what's up?
I've always kind of thought punters are in a bit of a weird position because, maybe your best game on the season is also probably the worst game for the team as a whole. So is it ever maybe difficult, per se, to kind of take pride in your performance when the team isn't performing well as a whole?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, winning is what matters. when we start looking at individual statistics, that's when we, lose altogether. You never hear Joe Burrow talk about winning the Heisman. All you heard him talk about was winning a championship. So, when you look at individual statistics, that was my best game, but we didn't win. So, in my opinion, it doesn't matter.
Hey, Avery, Leah Van from The Advocate. You talked about the atmosphere at Tiger Stadium. Obviously, this Saturday you've got an 11 a.m. kickoff, 3-3 record. What is your message to fans to kind of get them to come out and still provide that atmosphere for this team?
Yeah, we need them. We need them. Tiger Stadium is known for, as Coach O says, where dreams come to die. And, Florida's coming in here pretty confident and, using Tiger Stadium to our advantage, bringing the fans with us, we got to show them on Saturday.
Thank you, Avery.
Thanks, y'all.
Hey, Ty. Wilson Alexander from The Advocate. Pleasure to see you. I'm curious, obviously this is a great game for you personally this past week, 147 yards and 2 touchdowns. This has been a tough year for y'all running the ball. Was there something that unlocked the way y'all ran the football this past week?
Well, we've been had that going. I feel like we could have been done it all year. It's been a rough year for all of us, and I feel like that week of practice we really attacked it and said that we wanted to go in and just have a great week. Despise everything that's going on around us that only control we can control and go out there and work hard every day.
Hey, Tyler, it's your dog from Channel 9, man. How you doing?
How you doing?
Good, man. Congratulations on the great game that you had. Just curious, I know before the year I'd heard people say that you took great pride in wearing number 3 because it's Kevin Falk's number and everything. Can you just talk about that? And I know it's obviously been the toughest of times for Kevin. Can you share if you had any interaction with him and how's he doing?
Yeah, I talked to Coach Falk. We talk at least twice a week since he's been out for a moment. But number 3, that's a special number. And I asked him to wear it before I got here, and I told him I was going to hold it down, and I'm doing the best I can. But yeah, that's a special number. That's a special number. I'm gonna try my best to keep on doing what I'm doing. As long as everyone's together, we're going out there working hard. Listening to our coach, no matter what's going on around us, just going out there and it's gonna be a special.
And just to follow up, do you feel like the last game kind of breaks the seal a little bit in terms of, okay, we can do this now, we can run the ball, maybe we can continue to run the football?
Yes, sir. I think that opened up a lot of eyes and just continue to build off that game and because the O-line, we have a great O-line, but we practice really well that week. The O-line, they came with it, they worked their butts off. As you can see, a lot of those holes were wide open, and I just did great with the opportunity, did good with the opportunity that I had, given to the great job that they did.
Yeah, hey, Ty. I was wondering what your thoughts were on the rivalry between these two schools. I mean, there have been some great games over the years, and what are your thoughts on just how heated it is and what the history is?
Well, just growing up watching Florida and LSU always has been a big rivalry game. And I remember my freshman year, that stadium was so crazy. It was loud. It was nothing like I've ever seen before. And I remember it was tied up 28-28, and my running back coach, he put me in a game, and he was asking me, was I ready? And I'm like, of course I'm ready. And that's when I had scored that touchdown to make it 35-28, and it was just electrifying. And I remember, I think about that all the time, just the stadium and how Tiger Stadium gets, it's something electrifying.
So you grew up with this rivalry. How far do you go back with it? What's your earliest memory?
Tim Tebow. That's the earliest I remember.
Great. Hey, thank you, man.
Yes, sir.
Scott, your mic's not working.
Yeah, hey Ty, this is Glenn West with LSU Country. Was wondering if you could just, talk about the development of the 2 freshmen, Corey and Armani back there alongside you. How have you seen those 2 guys grow throughout the season?
They're great, man. We all push each other. Amani, he's probably the fastest out of all of us. He's a real quick, fast kid. Corey, he's real explosive. He's explosive, and he has great balance. I talk to him about that all the time, tell him how great his balance is. And we all compete together, and they make me better. We all make each other better in that room.
Hey Ty, this is Shay Dixon.
What's up, Shay?
Coach O had mentioned, what's up? How are you? Coach O had mentioned that kind of some of the run schemes that Jake Peets went with this weekend were things that y'all had put in place. He was glad y'all stuck with. These pulling guards, all of the different looks to get you outside. Does that fit your style, or was that something y'all had been doing all year, or was it more prevalent against Kentucky?
It's something that I feel like we the whole year we've been trying to establish, But like I say, like the O-line, they just came with it like a different mentality that we could practice, and you see what they did. And so we're just going to continue to build off from that and finish strong this year.
All right, let's try it again. Ty, Scott Rappelay from The Advocate. Obviously, a lot of fingers have been pointed before Saturday to the running game being, just not effective and stuff like that. Did you guys hear that criticism? Has it been any kind of motivation? And did you feel like, did you personally feel like this was something, the game you had was something that you or one of the other backs could have had at some point? You had to just put it all together. Did you have confidence in yourselves that whole time?
Yes, sir. Like the O-line, like they, of course, like people say things, but like we stick together, like we try our best not to even worry about that, because like what matters is the people that's inside the building, and we control the outcome of the games, and we control the way we practice, we control our attitude. So they chose to like say forget everything and just go out there and just show everyone that they can do it, and they did, man. And like I had a great game. Any one of those backs could have done it. Corey could have done it. Josh Williams could have done it. Armani could have done it. Like I just did great with the opportunities that I had.
Hey Ty, Leah Van from The Advocate. I was wondering, how did you balance the excitement of maybe having like your season's best game this past Saturday with the fact that it also came with a loss for your team?
Well, everyone wants to win, and I did have a pretty good game. I feel like it was okay, and but I mean, at the end of the day, you want to win. Like it's just something about winning. Like some people might want individual awards or whatnot, but I mean, at the end of the day, that's not what matters. So I was just trying my best to come back from my team, and I just had that. That was my mindset. I didn't even know how many yards I had after the game, but I was just trying to make a comeback for my team.
Yeah, Ty, it's me again. I'm trying to figure out protocol here because I'm an outsider. I'm over in Gainesville here.
Okay.
But yeah, you mentioned Tebow, and I didn't want to push, but what was the game? Was it the Hester game with the 4th downs, or what? Can you recall what the game was? Because I'm going to write on the Rivalry, and that's pretty far back for a guy of your age. What are you, like 21?
I turned 21 next Saturday.
Man, so you were young when that game was played.
Yeah, I used to like watch the clippings, but like I'm just used to watching his highlights, like the highlight of those games, because like they always show, like on commercials or like just any LSU, anything dealing with LSU football. They show old games. So, but I can't really recall like specific people, like you say, because I was young and I was just watching the games and I was just rooting for LSU. But I knew it was like a big rivalry game, and yeah.
So it was one of the biggies up there with like Bama and stuff like that.
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. Thanks for the time.
Hey, Tyron, before the year, Coach Orgeron said over and over he wanted you and John Emery to, take the lead and do the rushing attack this year. How tough was it that John hasn't, is not going to be able to play? Have you been in contact? How's he handling all that?
I talk to John all the time. I mean, it's tough for anyone, I feel like he's doing the best he can with it, staying positive, and just finishing up. He's been doing really well in school, and just staying on top of everything, He wants to be out there, and I miss him being out there next to me, man, honestly. Like, I miss him, for real.
I guess we never know what would have happened, but do you think he would have been an impact in that pass catching game? We heard a lot about his ability to catch the ball in this new offense, and it never happened.
Most definitely. John catch the ball really well.
I'm curious, you obviously spend a lot of time around Max, and he's sort of halfway now through his first full season as a starter. Has there sort of been a moment or a play where you've really seen some growth from him?
He surprised me all the time, man. You just never know with him. He works hard. He's one of the hardest workers on the team. Been like that since he first got in, and I remember having a conversation with him when he first got here on campus, and I told him just keep working hard. Just keep doing what you're doing, cause I see it, and I know everyone else sees it. And he's a great quarterback in my eyes.
Hey Ty, it's Shay again. I know you don't call up the plays, but do you sense?
Right.
I mean, Kayshawn was obviously a big playmaker with him going down. Do you sense the run game or the running back room will be leaned on maybe a bit more, or is that kind of something that goes through your mind in a time like that?
Yeah, but I'll say those receivers in that room, they have a lot of talent in that room. It's unbelievable the amount of talent they have in that room actually. They all can be starters. I'm not just saying that they really all can be starters. They're really that good. So someone's gonna have to step up and be the next man. And I don't think they have a problem with that. They all compete with each other each and every day. It's hard to play everyone. And I know that's hard for people to hear or for a player to hear, but they compete with each other every day. They make each other better. They make Kayshawn better. And I do believe the run game, we're going to run the ball more, and we're going to try to keep it going, But I don't think that the receivers are worried. I think someone's going to step up and make plays.
Thanks, Ty.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Ty, this is Ron Higgins with Tiger Rag Magazine. What's been the hardest part of this year? Has it been the losing or the fact that there's been no holes to run in until last week?
Yeah, it's we all go through adversity, and just it's been a tough year for everyone, and we just come out there and practice and do our best each and every day.
Ty, after the Kentucky game, Coach O talked about how you had something to prove. Do you feel like you played with a chip on your shoulder?
Ma'am, I'm sorry. Can you repeat that, please? Can you repeat that, please? I'm sorry.
Yeah, so after the Kentucky game, Coach O talked about how you had something to prove this season, and of course it was your best game. Do you feel like you were playing with a chip on your shoulder?
Honestly, I was out there playing football, honestly. The same way I play every week. I was just giving them the opportunities, and I did the best I could do with them.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Liam, how you doing today?
I'm good. How are you doing?
You must be pretty excited because your Sox are going to the ALCS.
Yeah, man. I've been watching I watched the last two games, two walk-offs back to back. It's pretty exciting, honestly. I'm pretty fired up. So hopefully they can keep the magic going a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, as a guy who used to work at Fenway, is it maybe a little bit more extra special whenever they're playing well?
Maybe a little bit. I was a fan before I started working there, but kind of through that experience, it only kind of grew even more. It's cool too for me. I still go and see, watching the game. I go see all my old friends working on the grounds crew. I actually got one of my good buddies from the grounds crew. He's coming down to the game this week, so it's exciting. So
I wanted to ask you about the some of the things y'all started doing in the run game this past week. It looked like y'all were pulling linemen a lot more than you had maybe before. Was that sort of a new implementation, sort of new thing in the offense, and when did y'all implement that?
Yeah, there's some of our day 1, 2, 3 plays. We've had those plays in since camp, and we felt that that's when one of our stronger plays from offensive line standpoint. So it was good. We kind of committed to those plays over the weekend, and we had a little success with it. So hopefully that's something we can continue to build on moving forward.
Hey, Liam. with all the speculation going around with Coach O's job status and everything, how have you all handled that in the locker room as you still try to plug and get this thing turned around and win some football games?
Yeah, I'm not even thinking about that at all. That's not anything that I could control or any of my teammates can control. What we're focused on every week is just preparing for our opponent, which this week is Florida, and it's going to be a big game for us. Obviously it's been a tough start to the year for us. None of us wanted to be in the situation, but the only thing that we can do is keep fighting. And we have an opportunity to get a big win at home this week, so we got to do everything we can to get ready for it.
Yeah, hey Liam, this is Glenn West here. You guys obviously face, probably one of the more elite pass rushing duos in the country this week with Zachary Carter and Brenton Cox coming to Death Valley. Just, I guess, talk about the challenges of an offensive line of trying to block two guys like that who are so good at, getting after the quarterback and making plays in the backfield.
Yeah, I mean they're good players. Between those two and then some other guys they got, they're a really talented bunch. Yeah, I remember both those guys from our game last year. So, it's going to be a challenge for us, and it's going to be something we have to put it together this week and be ready to play our best game on Saturday.
Mute. Hi, I'm Liam from the Advocate. I wanted to know, the offensive line has been the subject of a lot of scrutiny this season, and I wanted to know if you could pinpoint what the certain weaknesses are and how y'all are attacking them in practice.
Yeah, in terms of scrutiny, that's not, at least for me and my teammates, I don't really try to pay attention to anything that's being said outside of this building. It's something that Coach O says, and I really believe in, is the only people that can control the outcome of our games and our season are the people in this building. So, I don't want to get too much into the details of that, but every week, like I say, every time I'm up here, we got to address see what we did well, what we did bad, where we have to improve, and just keep moving forward.
Liam, obviously you're with Max all the time. He's at kind of the halfway point of his first full season as a starter. What would you say he's really done well this year, and kind of what are the areas where he's looking to continue to improve?
Yeah, I think Max has done a really good job this year. He has a lot on his plate, and what I try to do, and what we have to do as an offensive line, running backs, receivers, tight ends, is we have to do everything we can to kind of make it easier for him, because he's got the most on his plate as a quarterback. And I think that he's done a really good job this year so far, but we just have to keep doing everything we can to make it easier on him, so he can just play more free and more comfortably and confidently.
Is there maybe a moment or a play where you really saw a good bit of growth from him?
I don't know if I can pinpoint one moment, but he's just what's impressed me about Max is he's really got kind of a what's next mentality that we talk about. He's not afraid. If something goes wrong or he gets hit hard, he pops right up and he's ready to go to the next play. So that's something that I find kind of admirable in him.
Hey Liam, I know you say you guys just focus on the things you can control, but how was the team in the locker room rallying around Coach O right now?
Yeah, I mean, we're all in, man. We've been working really hard for this. It's been disappointing. Everyone knows that the start of the season, but we're playing we're playing as hard as we can, and moving forward, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna keep playing hard. We're gonna do everything that we can to prepare ourselves for this Saturday against Florida.
Yeah, hey Liam. Obviously, you guys lose a huge piece there in Kayshawn this last week. I was wondering if we could get your reaction to that news, and then as well as I wanted to ask about Jack Besh as potentially a guy who can really step in and kind of be a go-to option now for Max. I know he's been targeting him a lot on third downs, but just do you think Jack and some of those freshman receivers are ready to take on a bigger workload?
Yeah, I mean, in terms of Kayshawn, that's just horrible news. That he's going to be missed the rest of the year. Really hate that for him. He's someone he's really been one of the bright spots on the team, and he's earned that throughout the offseason. So really hate to see that happen to him. But there's still a lot of talent in the wide receiver room, like Jack Besh, like you mentioned, a lot of the other freshmen. There's more than enough talent in there for guys to step up. And that could be something that'll be interesting to see throughout the rest of the year, to see who can kind of fill those shoes.
Hey Liam, I'm gonna pivot back to the little Boston Red Sox stuff. I wanted to know how you got the job at Fenway and who's coming out to watch you play this weekend.
So my freshman year at Harvard, I was just looking for a summer job. It's a little different as a football player at Harvard to LSU in terms of finding work and stuff for the summer. But, I thought that would be a cool gig. I saw a posting for it. Next thing you know, it's like my full-time job for 3 or 4 years. So really couldn't have had a better summer job in college, I think. But, yeah, the guy who's coming down, Brendan Gallagher, he's one of my good friends from home. And he went to school in Boston too. So after I got the job, I told him that he should apply too. So then it ended up being he's one of my best friends from my childhood, and then we had that job together, and it only made us even closer. So I'm looking forward to him coming down here this week.